What if I told you that you've been speaking a holy language backwards for years? You've said prayers to the universe every morning, standing with hope in your heart and saying things like, "I am confident. I've done well. I deserve it." And it's possible that with every word you spoke, you were pushing your beautiful dreams farther away. With all my heart, please hear this. This is not your fault. Someone taught you with the best of intentions, but they used a method that goes against everything that is true. Self-help books have told us for decades that we are building a bridge to our dreams from the wrong side of the water. That is why so many beautiful people, maybe even you, have felt the quiet heartbreak of seeing little to no change. Let's slowly pull back the curtain to see what's going on inside your beautiful body. When you say, "I am confident," even though your heart is shaking with fear, your subconscious mind, that loving, deep part of you, feels the disconnect right away. When you do this, you feel conflict inside, like a soft alarm going off in your body that there is a gap between what you say and what you really are. In order to keep you safe, your brain automatically goes to what feels safe, which is your current reality. So instead of building confidence, you've been drawing attention to the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. If these words already make you feel like they're true, you might want to send this transmission to someone else you think is ready to awaken. Sharing this link is more than just an act of kindness. It's a quantum service that builds a bridge of light that makes the energy of this awakening stronger for both of you. What if there is a quantum truth, a holy secret that is right in front of us? In what case does the very structure of reality follow rules that make these traditional affirmations not only hard, but also a journey in the wrong direction? What if quantum physics has already given us the blueprint for making our reality? What if we've just been holding it backwards? We are going to look at this holy map on this trip together. You will learn the profound truth that your mind works like a quantum computer, holding all possible realities in a state of shimmering potential, a superposition of possibilities, until your awareness, your beautiful focus, brings them all together into a single, real experience. You will learn that the famous observer effect is not a strange thing that only happens in labs, but that it is the divine power that you use all the time. We will figure out what time is all about and realize that it's not a straight line like you think it is. Instead, it's a big, empty space where your future self is not a faraway dream, but a present-day guide who can whisper wisdom back to you. Let's talk about how every word you think is not only a thought, but also a vibrational frequency, a musical note that either fits in with the symphony of your desired reality or makes a dissonant chord that pushes it away. You will realize that your subconscious mind is more than just a place to store memories. It is a doorway to the quantum field, a place where everything is possible right now, and you have been programming it to keep you stuck in the limits you want to break through. The most important thing is that you will be taught the time-reversed method of self-talk, which is a holy conversation that works with quantum creation laws instead of against them. You won't have to work so hard to convince yourself of a truth you don't yet feel. Instead, you'll learn to speak from the loving point of view of a person who has already changed, seeing this moment with compassion as a beautiful, necessary, and perfect part of your journey. Feeling good isn't enough for this. This is the spirituality of quantum mechanics. This is the action of consciousness. Living in a state of quantum superposition isn't just a weird theory. It's the natural, fluid state of reality. You will know this in your bones by the end of our time together. It will teach you how to dance easily between different possible timelines, until you naturally and gracefully fall into the one that supports your highest and most beautiful evolution. This is an invitation to become a conscious co-creator with the quantum field. In this state, every word you speak to yourself is a loving, powerful act that shapes your world. The old way makes things hard to do. Resonance is produced by the quantum way. Let's start. Please take a moment to subscribe to this channel before we start our journey. When you subscribe, you make a conscious, energetic link to this flow of information. Think of it as a quantum alignment that keeps your energy field tuned to the frequencies that help you grow the most. If this first truth strikes a chord with you, let us know in the comments below that you are ready. I am ready for resonance. Let writing this be the first thing you do to move away from the path of resistance. The quantum field gets the message that you no longer want to fight for your reality and are ready to work with it. The way we've been taught to talk to our hearts is deeply flawed, and it comes from a subtle misunderstanding of how our thoughts cause events in our lives. You are not creating a frequency of abundance when you look in the mirror and say, "I am wealthy," even though your heart is heavy with worry about money. My dear friend, you are unintentionally starting a war within yourself. Your conscious mind, which is where your wants and plans live, is saying something beautiful. But because it stores your past experiences, your subconscious mind knows that this statement doesn't fit with what it knows. This makes a psychological chasm, a sense of not being truthful, which gives more power to the reality you are lovingly letting go of. Think of your subconscious mind as a very deep, rich garden. Every feeling, experience, failure, and moment of doubt you've had in your life has been like planting a seed in this ground. These seeds have grown into a landscape and an ecosystem that you are used to seeing every day. This baseline is not a fixed set of memories. It is a living, active, vibrational field that your consciousness sends out into the quantum universe every time you breathe. When you try to plant a new flower, like an affirmation, that doesn't belong in this garden, you make what quantum physicists call destructive interference patterns. When two waves of energy meet in the quantum world, they can either boost each other in a beautiful way, which is known as constructive interference, or they can crash into each other and cancel each other out. Your consciousness is based on the same divine principle. The frequency of your present reality and the frequency of your new affirmation are like two waves trying to share the same space. If they are in tune, they dance together, making each other stronger and making beautiful, quick changes. But if they are at odds with each other, they cause a destructive interference that, according to loving but impartial physics, makes the patterns in your garden stronger. This is the reason why affirmations often don't work or even make you feel anxious. Because it is so sensitive, your nervous system can tell that something doesn't make sense. It can feel the difference in energy between what you say and what your body really believes. This inner conflict doesn't help you move toward the reality you want. Instead, it causes stress, which your subconscious sees as proof that this new reality is unsafe, false, or too far away to be real. It seems that the more you use these common affirmations, the more resistance you create. Trying to gently move two magnets together when their poles are not lined up correctly is like trying to push two magnets together against a strong force that can't be overcome. The real problem, though, is more complicated than simple doubt. A Newtonian model of reality, the notion that you can use force and willpower to force your way into a new existence, is the foundation of the old affirmations technique. But quantum physics' deeper truths show a more beautiful dance. Being conscious doesn't work with force. It works with resonance and coherence. The reality you are trying to convince yourself of is not what reality responds to. It responds to the reality you are as your natural, effortless frequency. When you repeat an affirmation that goes against what you are experiencing, you are actually making the neural pathways in your brain stronger that can tell the difference. Your mind is being trained to be more aware of what you think you don't have, what you haven't experienced yet, and how far away your dreams seem to be. The affirmation is meant to be a bridge, but every day it becomes a way to measure how big the gap is. Your subconscious mind lives in the present moment all the time, but it can't tell the difference between a real event and one that you are having a very vivid and emotional mental picture of. But it can definitely tell the difference between a real feeling state and one that is made up in the mind. When you think and say positive things while your body is full of negative emotions, you send your internal guidance system a very confusing message. Putting one foot on the gas and the other on the brake is like trying to drive a car at the same time. You stay in the same place even though you make a lot of noise and heat. This backwards way of thinking has made a generation of sensitive, beautiful people feel bad about not believing hard enough. They blame themselves for what they think is a lack of willpower and think they are fundamentally flawed when this method doesn't work. You are not flawed. That's the truth. This is the way it works. It goes against the rules of how consciousness interacts with the real world. Coherence, not effort, is how the quantum field reacts. Alignment is what it responds to, not assertion. A frequency match is what makes it react, not a threat of force. Knowing this small but important difference is the first thing you need to do to start talking to yourself in a way that changes things, a way that turns resistance into release. The mirror is not reflecting your words back to you. It is reflecting the frequency of your true self. And beautiful words can't cover up an energetic signature that doesn't make sense. Press the like button when you understand this truth. It's not just a click. This is a physical action that sends the universe a clear message. You are consciously recognizing the old pattern. This releases the quantum energy and makes room for a new reality to appear. This is why we need to lovingly change our whole approach. We shouldn't try to convince ourselves of what we want to be true. Instead, we should learn how to speak from the reality that is already there, waiting for us in the loving field of infinite quantum possibilities. Better and stronger affirmations are not the answer. It's a whole new, more loving way of looking at the sacred dance between consciousness and reality. If this is true for you, tell yourself in the comments, I release the internal war. Think of these words as a deal you made with your soul. You are telling your nervous system that the battle is over and that it is safe to let change happen slowly and gently. You've been taught that time is a straight line, but it's not. The beautiful human experience feels like a straight line, going from a fixed past to a fleeting present to an unknown future. But quantum physics shows us a much more magical reality. In what physicists call the block universe, all times, past, present, and future, exist at the same time. The version of you from the future who is already healthy, wealthy, and everything you want to be is not a far-off fantasy. That self is in the quantum field right now, and that beautiful version of you can lovingly change the present moment. This is the holy key that opens the door to a new way of living. This is how we change the way we talk to ourselves. You will stop talking to a future you want to make and start talking to the you who has already lived that future. There is no acting here. It's not faking it until you make it. This is a very important quantum alignment. It's about consciously tuning in to a version of yourself that is vividly real and available right now in the field of all possibilities. Your future self is not separate from you. It is just you, but at a different frequency that you can become aware of through your consciousness. Something truly amazing happens in your mind and body when you learn to affirm from the point of view of your future self looking back. You don't build up the resistance that comes from trying to close the huge gap between where you are and where you want to be. Instead, you close it up completely. You start to speak from a place of completion instead of lack, of achievement instead of longing, and of the energy of being instead of the struggle of becoming. Friend, this shift brings deep coherence into your consciousness and replaces the inner conflict with a deep, resonant peace. Your future self has already dealt with all of the problems you are having now. That version of you has already found the answers, built unwavering confidence, made loving connections, made the business grow, and healed the deep wounds. When you learn to tune in to that self's frequency and speak from that wise point of view, you're not just making guesses about what might happen. You're downloading divine wisdom from something that happened in the quantum field on a different timeline. In this case, the mysterious idea of quantum entanglement is turned into a useful and personal tool. You can get advice, insights, and strong energetic support from your future self because all versions of you in all timelines are still quantumly connected. This information doesn't have to move through time in a straight line. It's always there in the eternal now, just waiting for your consciousness to tune in to its frequency. Think about why it's so hard to say traditional affirmations. Their words ask your heart to make a huge jump, from a state of fear to one of confidence, from a reality of poverty to a manifestation of wealth. A lot of the time, the quantum gap between these two states is too big, which causes painful cognitive dissonance and emotional resistance. But you're not going anywhere when you talk about your problems as if you were your future self, looking back with love and compassion. You're just thinking about what you've already gotten through. You're recognizing the beautiful journey you've already been on. You don't tell your future self, "I will be sure of myself." You'll smile and say to your future self, "I remember when I used to have so much doubt, and I am so grateful for that time in my life. That experience taught me how to build up the unwavering trust in myself that I now have." Can you feel how the energy of those two statements is very different? One is reaching for something that seems far away and uncertain. The other way is to recognize, accept, and value something that feels finished, whole, and solved. Both of these approaches have very different effects on your nervous system. Your body can make stress hormones like cortisol when you affirm from lack because you are focusing on what is missing in your life. Because you are accessing a state of genuine fulfillment and gratitude when you affirm from completion. Your body produces coherence chemicals like oxytocin and serotonin. Your body starts to change so that it works better for success instead of struggle. If you feel like this shift has power, help it stick by liking this video. Think of it as a quantum deal with yourself from the future. By doing this simple thing, you align your body with your energetic intention. This speeds up the collapse of the timeline, where your highest potential is already real. This method that turns back time also works very well with the reticular activating system, RAS, in your brain. The RAS is a delicate network that decides what information from your environment gets through to your conscious mind. When you talk to your future self, you lovingly tell your RAS to start noticing chances, resources, and coincidences that support the life your future self has already lived. Evidence of your change starts to show up all around you because you are looking for it with the goal of completion in mind, not just hope. Yourself in the future knows things that yourself in the present hasn't learned yet. From where you are now, the answers to problems that seem impossible are crystal clear when you look back. From your evolved frequency, the love that seems out of reach makes perfect sense. When you're aware of your wholeness, the chances that seem scarce when you're aware of your lack are plentiful and always there. You can get information about the future when you learn how to see things from the point of view of your future self. There is no difference between what has happened and what will happen in the quantum field, because all possibilities exist at the same time in the eternal now. You can remember the things that happened to your future self just as easily as you remember the things that happened to your past self. The only thing that is different is the direction that you are lovingly focusing your mind. The majority of people spend their time thinking about the past and applying its limitations to the present and future. Quantum consciousness is about learning to connect with the future and let its knowledge gently change the present. You have to make a big change in how you think about your own identity in order to use this sacred method. You are not a fixed self that is trying to change. You have a changing consciousness that can connect to any version of yourself that exists in the quantum field. There is no such thing as a future self. Your future self is already you, but at a frequency you haven't learned to keep up yet. When you learn how to talk to your future self, every time you talk to yourself, it turns into a practice of quantum alignment. There's nothing you want to change. It's just a matter of remembering who you really are, beyond the illusion of linear time. Instead of becoming your future self, you are realizing that you are already that person, just experiencing this moment through the lens of your present frequency. Being aware of that, my friend, changes everything. Feel free to share your newfound awareness in the comments with the phrase, "I am listening to my future self." Let this be a vibrational tuning fork, something you do that drowns out the noise of your doubts and brings out the loving whispers of wisdom from the you who has already arrived. When you open this sacred channel of communication, you are connecting with the divine. Now let's get into the heart of this practice and learn the holy language that your future self will speak. Here, this deep idea turns into a real, heart-centered practice that you can start right now. We'll talk about the most common things people want: confidence, abundance, and love, and learn how to speak their new reality into being, not by asking for it, but by remembering it. To feel confident. It's old-fashioned to look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I am confident," even though your stomach is knotted up. This starts a war inside. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and tune into the frequency of the you who already trusts and has mastery over yourself. This is the new path. That version of you doesn't judge this moment when you think about it now. Instead, it feels incredibly soft. When you think about the future, you might tell yourself, "I remember this feeling so well, this uncertainty. It's funny how much I cared about what other people thought and whether I was good enough. And I'm so thankful for that version of myself. The fact that she was brave enough to keep going even when she was scared gave me a strong sense of self-worth every day. Every moment of doubt was a step forward." Feel the power of this. You're not making up a lie. You're recognizing the journey. You are recognizing that how you feel right now is an important part of your growth. Instead of turning on the brain's lie detector, this turns on the neural networks that are linked to wisdom, compassion, and resilience. You are literally teaching your brain to see your current problems as signs that you will succeed in the future. To have plenty. Looking at past due bills and saying, "I am a money magnet," is the old way to do it. It hurts to be in dissonance, and it can make anxiety worse. The quantum way is to get in touch with the part of you that lives in flow, safety, and kindness. Now that you look back, you understand so much more. From that future point of view, the words become, "I'm so thankful for the time when I learned so much about trust and being resourceful. I remember feeling scared when I checked my bank account. That taught me what it means to be truly safe inside. It pushed me to think outside the box, trust my own worth, and create a connection with plenty that wasn't based on numbers from outside sources. During that time, I learned more about money than any other time in my life. It's what lets me handle this level of flow with such grace and thanksgiving now." With these words, you're not denying what is happening right now. You're changing the way you look at it. Looking at it from the point of view of neuroscience, you are turning a stressful event, financial worry, into a learning opportunity. This calms down the amygdala, which is the brain's fear center, and makes room for the prefrontal cortex, which is where you think of new ways to solve problems. You start to see answers where you only saw problems before. To help with love and relationships, the old method is to tell yourself, "I am in a happy, loving relationship," even though you are very lonely. This can make the longing and feeling of being apart even stronger. You can tune into the frequency of the you who feels whole, loved, and cherished, whether you are with a partner or not. This is the new quantum way. From that point of view in the future, you say, "I remember the feeling of loneliness so clearly. That strong desire for a partner comes back to me, and I love the person I was back then. I found my way back to myself through that feeling. I learned how to be my own best friend, fill my own cup, and grow a love that was so bright and complete inside me. This beautiful relationship could only show me that deep, unconditional love after I had found it for myself. The holy ground where this love story began was the time I spent by myself." In quantum creation, this is the language that is used. It's soft. It shows kindness. There is a lot more to it than a simple, strong affirmation. It respects your present experience as a holy and important part of a story that has been beautifully finished in the quantum field. There is no lie in your voice. You are getting ready. You are thinking about it. Here's how you use your divine consciousness to choose a timeline. Not by force, but by a frequency of loving acceptance and thanks for the whole journey. The key to a locked door is not something you are trying to guess. Your future self is lovingly whispering it to you because they know exactly how they got in. To use this new language, click like on this video. This action instructs your body's cells to resonate with the frequency of completion and acts as a somatic anchor. You are telling your body that the energy of already done is now your main vibration. Say it out loud in the comments right now if you're ready to start using this new, holy language. I speak from my completion. You are consciously changing your energetic point of origin as you type these words. You are no longer speaking from a place of wanting or not having enough. Instead, you are speaking from the place of being calm, strong, and whole that you already are in the quantum field. As you start to have this sacred talk with yourself, you will enter a magical and sometimes confusing part of your journey. In this space between worlds, you can move from your old timeline to your new one. You will be in a state of quantum superposition in this space. This means that your reality may seem to hold evidence of both your past and your future at the same time. This is how to really feel what mystics have called holy uncertainty. One day, you might talk to your future self who is wealthy, and then you might get a surprise bill in the mail. You could have a lot of confidence in yourself and then hear someone criticize you. There will still be a strong, energetic pull from the old reality around you for a while. Do not let these echoes pull you back into the old frequency. This is the big test and the best thing you can do for yourself out of love. This is what your brain does when it rewires itself from a neuroscience point of view. You are making new neural networks that work together, but the old ones that you know are still there. They haven't been seen since last night. It's easy to get back on them, like walking on well-worn paths in the woods. The feeling of being in between is your mind moving back and forth between these old and new paths. It takes time and care as the new paths get stronger, and the old ones are slowly cut down because they aren't being used. You are simultaneously existing in a superposition of multiple possible timelines, according to the quantum perspective. Your mind is starting to match up with a new reality, but it hasn't fully fused into a single, stable experience yet. The pain or confusion you may be feeling is caused by the vibrational friction between these different timelines. Holy uncertainty is the skill of letting the quantum field plan the final collapse without trying to push it or getting scared when you see evidence that goes against what you think you know. Let's say you set your car's GPS to go to a beautiful new place. As you start to drive, the first few miles are filled with the same old, familiar sights. The gas station and billboard you've always disliked are in front of you. It doesn't make you freak out, slam on the brakes, and turn the car around because you think the GPS is broken. You trust it to lead you, even if the immediate scenery stays the same. For sure, if you keep driving, soon you'll see some beautiful new scenery. The signs of your old reality don't mean that the shift isn't happening. They're just part of the landscape you are lovingly moving through. Click the like button now to make this trust in your journey even stronger. This act should be a quantum marker, a point of coherence in your energy field that shows you believe in things you can't see. As you move through the space between worlds, you show the universe that you trust the process. Your emotions guide you through the divine timeline. They let you know which reality you are in at the moment. When you get a surprise bill and feel old fear come back, that is your invitation. Don't judge people who are scared. Don't fight it. Just love it and acknowledge it. That's the old source of fear. This is something I remember well. Then you can choose again in a kind way. You can take a deep breath and connect with how you'll feel when you're in the future and have already been through this. You can connect with their sense of calm, trust, and resourcefulness. This is how you pick the new timeline over the old one every time. Aligning with the frequency of the result you want, and then letting the infinite intelligence of the quantum field set up the perfect chain of events to make it happen, is what this process is all about. You don't push yourself to get what you want. Instead, you become what you want, and let it show you the best way to get there. When you are sure of where you want to go, and don't care about the way there, you are in the perfect position for a quick and smooth timeline shift. Please be kind to your beautiful heart during this time of change. For a while, you might feel like the old reality and the new reality are mixed together. Don't let this get you down. Instead, learn to see it as loving confirmation that you are able to move between quantum possibilities. As you learn to steer your ship with grace into the harbor of your choice, you will become a master navigator in the ocean of consciousness. If you want to get through this beautiful change with grace, put your faith in the comments below. I trust my becoming. This affirmation can help you find your way through the sacred space between worlds, a strong reminder to your soul that you are on a divine path to a new place, even if the scenery looks like it's been there before. At some point along the way, the practice stops being a practice. The holy language you've been studying becomes your first language. Being in a conversation with your future self is no longer a conscious act. It's just something that happens in the background of your mind. This is the state of the self that makes sense. Here, you don't need to send the universe a signal anymore, because you are the signal. There is a divine state called coherence, in which all of your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, words, and actions are in perfect, beautiful harmony with each other. They're all singing the same thing. This makes a strong, clear, and unified signal that the quantum field can respond to very quickly and accurately. Most people live in a state of inner chaos, which can be thought of as vibrational static. Thoughts push us in one direction, I want success. Feelings pull us in another, fear of failing. Beliefs tell us a different story, I'm not worthy. And our actions often show our deepest fears instead of our biggest hopes. We feel trapped in a reality that doesn't reflect the truth of who we are, as a result of the destructive interference patterns this causes. But as you get used to this new way of being, all of these beautiful parts of yourself start to fit together. When your future self talks to you through your present thoughts, when your emotions match the frequency of your dream that has already come true, when your beliefs support your new identity, and when your actions reflect your new truth, you develop a coherent field. This field has the power to change the way you experience reality right now. From the point of view of neuroscience, the new neural pathways are like superhighways for your brain. Due to lack of use, the old paths of lack and fear have grown over with weeds. The chemistry in your body has changed to a new, higher level. Right now, your nervous system feels safest when it is at peace and sure of itself. From the point of view of quantum mechanics, you are now making pure constructive interference. As your waves of being add to each other, they make a signal that is so strong and clear that the quantum field has to reflect it back to you. Things start to feel like magic in your life. Syncing up events happens all the time. This is how the right people, ideas, and chances show up. They find you, not because you were looking for them. Imagine that you have learned to play a beautiful instrument for many years. At first, it wasn't easy. You played a lot of wrong notes, but after a lot of practice, you got the hang of it. Today is the day you don't have to think about your fingers or the notes on the page. You are the music. It flows through the instrument without any effort, making a symphony from the bottom of your heart. This is the path from practicing coherence to becoming a self that is coherent. Your relationships turn into perfect mirrors that show you how much coherence you have. When you are in tune with yourself, you attract and enjoy interactions that are in tune with your beautiful frequency. When you start to feel out of sync, interactions that are chaotic or at odds with each other may show up as a gentle reminder to get back on track. This is not a judgment. It's the universe's loving way of telling you to stay in tune. The coherent self knows that making reality is not something that can be done by one person. You are making things along with the quantum field's infinite intelligence, other conscious beings, and the universe's own drive to evolve. Your coherent frequency becomes a gift to the world, adding to the field of human consciousness as a whole, and making it easier for everyone to access new possibilities. Living in a coherent way changes more than just your own reality. It also affects the quantum evolution of all people. Click the like button to make your new identity as the coherent self feel real. Being here right now is a strong act that shows you accept your role as a conscious creator. You make your signal to the universe even clearer and stronger with this click, which boosts your coherent field. Do the following in the comments if you are ready to fully step into this power and live as the creator of your world. I speak from my completion. Let this not be a statement of what you want to be, but of who you are right now. This is your energetic signature, clearly sent into the quantum field to let it know that you are now a conscious co-creator with the universe. When you remember how to live as your quantum self, traditional affirmations become romantically out of date. You no longer have to persuade yourself of anything, because the truth you speak from is already inside you in the quantum field. Because you are present in every moment, you no longer need to hope for change. You are living the change. You no longer have to wait for things to get better in your life. You are actively, lovingly, and powerfully choosing which version of your life to live right now. The sacred talk you have with yourself is based on this quantum truth. Every word is a powerful instruction. Every thought you have with yourself either connects you to your most beautiful possibilities or holds you back by tying you to old, familiar limits. Every time you talk to yourself, you are either expanding quantum potential into a bigger reality or reinforcing old patterns. As this transmission ends, share this video to become a lighthouse of this truth. Each share creates waves in the consciousness that awaken this quantum potential in other people who are ready to remember their power. You become an active part of an awakening grid that spans the world. You now know that you have been absolutely correct when you said yes backwards. To use the quantum way, you have to speak from realities that already exist and imagine yourself in the future, loving and grateful for this moment. This is how quantum mechanics is used. By using the basic rules of creation, we can work together with the universe on purpose. The most advanced quantum technology in the world is your consciousness. Welcome to quantum living. The field has been waiting for you to remember who you really are. Not a limited being hoping for a different life, but an infinite consciousness that can align with any reality that helps you grow. Welcome to the self that makes sense. You've come home to the real you. To finish this transmission's energetic circuit and keep going on your path of quantum living, subscribe now. You will always be connected to this frequency thanks to your subscription. This creates a stable channel for remembering who you really are.